Hey, I'm David Hobby. I'm with Strobus.com, former Baltimore Sun photographer. We're going to be hanging out with Mark in just a minute.
Here we are at your tour. Can you give us a few key tips?
Well, get the light off the camera. If your light's on your camera, you're basically making a photocopy of something as far as three-dimensionality is concerned. The difference between your viewpoint and where your light is, it's going to reveal texture, it's going to reveal shape and form, and that's the first step. And then from there, you just go right down the rabbit hole of balancing it to ambient light and adding other lights. And I've got this disease, I think I need to buy a 5th SB900 or wherever it takes you. It's the first hit's cheap, and then and I got spouses coming after me with baseball bats and stuff.
What are some of the key things that you use every time you pick up a camera, or even before you pick one up?
Well, I don't always use flashes, obviously. I mean, I shoot a lot of available light like anybody else. If the light's great, I'll be happy to use it. I generally like to work with 2 lights for a lot of reasons. If I'm always taking into account my ambient, I can add a single light and make a neat picture. If we don't have good ambient, I might have to create a background of light with one light, maybe through an umbrella or bounced off a ceiling, to give me something to work against, something on a measured level that I can add my key light against, and I can control that contrast range. So 2 flashes is probably what I do 90% of the stuff that I do with.
Okay, I was looking, you have a really impressive portfolio. And the one...
You should get out more.
Okay, well... The one that caught my eye was Caleb Jones, right? And how did you light that? What's the story?
So that's a mistake. Well, a lot of my best pictures are mistakes, and I'll fully own up to it. Not a mistake, just something that wasn't what I planned. He's sitting out playing at a lakeside. This is a setup, an environmental portrait, and I'm floating an umbrella right over him, just some guy holding a light stand and dropping it down, and I'm filling with an Orbis ring flash, which is my that ring flash and key light combo is really a go-to thing for me. And I'm filling in detail, and I turned the ring flash off that was filling in all the shadow detail down at the bottom, and I just want to see what that top light looks like, so maybe we can move it a little bit before we do our finals. And as it turned out, the way that I was fixing my problem of legibility in the bottom of the frame was also taking away a lot of interest in drama and contrast from the picture. So as soon as I turned off my second light, that professional second light that fills in all the shadows, I realized that my picture was really this rougher, more stark top down, just umbrella right over his head and just let it fall right across him.
Wow.
That you got to be willing to say, that's kind of better than what I was doing, and just go with it.
Okay, so David, if I had to ask you, I'm not going to say that your top 10 or your top 5, but if you were to give a kind of a list of some of the really important points that you've learned about photography over the years, what would those things be?
I think people think photography is about f-stops and shutter speed and light. I think that for me, photography is about people and experiencing things. And I was photographing an opera singer singing, a soprano singing in the shower the other day in a marble bathroom. I mean, that is a life experience. That's the coolest thing. Photography is experiential. It's about making a connection with a person and recording that connection in a visual form and saving that. It's much more so about that than it is about, are you Nikon or Canon, or where did you put your key light? 20 years, I don't remember what lens I used when I made my pictures. I remember the experiences that were wrapped around the pictures.
Hey, thanks for inviting us again.
Thanks.
Be sure to subscribe to our blog now to stay updated on my show, and we'll give you tips and insight to keep advancing your photography. Also, check out our guests' website for a closer look at their work. Tune in to our next episode of Advancing Your Photography for an inside look at another photographer's world. Until then, this is Marc Silber reminding you to get out and capture your own images of life.